New Mexico, the land of enchantment, a place where ancient cultures, otherworldly landscapes, and small-town charm collide to create something truly magical. But beyond the well-worn paths to Santa Fe's Plaza and the white sands of Alamogordo lies another New Mexico, one that even many locals have never fully explored. And after exploring this incredible state for over a decade, I've discovered places that rarely make it into guidebooks. Places where you can stand alone in silence, surrounded by nothing but the whispers of history and the vast New Mexican sky. In this video, I'm going to take you on a journey to the hidden corners of New Mexico. We'll explore secret hot springs where you can sit beneath the stars. We'll wander through ghost towns where the spirits of the Wild West still linger. We'll discover ancient art carved into canyon walls thousands of years ago. And we'll find the best small-town diners where the green chili will change your life. Spots where travelers rarely venture, but locals swear by. But I have to warn you, after watching this video, you might just find yourself planning a trip to New Mexico. And once you experience these hidden gems firsthand, you'll understand why those who know this land best keep these spots close to their hearts. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos on the American Southwest's most incredible hidden treasures. And stick around until the end, where I'll share one final secret spot that might just be the most magical place in all of New Mexico. Let's begin our journey through secret New Mexico. San Antonio Hot Springs. Our first stop takes us deep into the Jemez Mountains, about 2 hours northwest of Albuquerque. Here, nestled in a remote canyon, you'll find San Antonio Hot Springs, one of New Mexico's most pristine natural hot springs. Getting here requires some effort, a 5-mile round-trip hike if the Forest Service road is closed, which it often is. But trust me when I say the journey is worth every step. What makes these springs special isn't just the crystal-clear mineral water or the stunning mountain views. It's the way they're built into the hillside, creating a series of cascading pools that get cooler as they descend. The top pool hovers around 105 degrees, perfect for soaking away the aches from your hike. The best time to visit is during the week when you might have the entire place to yourself. And if you come at sunset, you'll witness the surrounding canyon walls glow with golden light while the valley below falls into shadow. A few tips if you plan to visit. Bring plenty of water, leave no trace, and consider packing a small trash bag to carry out any litter left by less responsible visitors. And while it's tempting to share these beautiful spots on social media, consider keeping exact locations to yourself to help preserve these natural treasures. Blue Hole of Santa Rosa. Our next hidden wonder takes us to eastern New Mexico, to a place that feels like it belongs in the Caribbean, rather than the high desert, the Blue Hole of Santa Rosa. While not entirely unknown, the Blue Hole remains remarkably uncrowded most of the year. This natural sinkhole is a perfect circle of sapphire blue water, 80 feet deep and a constant 64 degrees year-round. What makes the Blue Hole truly special is the incredible visibility. On a good day, you can see over 100 feet through the water. It's part of a vast underground water system that runs beneath eastern New Mexico, a network of caves and channels that remain largely unexplored. For certified cave divers, there's a whole other world to explore here. Below 80 feet, a narrow tunnel leads to a complex cave system that few have ever seen. But even for casual swimmers or those who prefer to stay dry, the Blue Hole is mesmerizing, a perfect natural swimming pool in the middle of the desert. The town of Santa Rosa has embraced its natural wonder, creating a small park around it with facilities for visitors. It's an ideal cooling-off spot if you're road tripping along Route 66 during the hot summer months. Williams Lake and Wheeler Peak. Most visitors to Taos focus on the historic plaza and the famous Pueblo, In winter, ski enthusiasts head to Taos Ski Valley. But few venture beyond the ski slopes to discover one of New Mexico's most beautiful alpine settings, Williams Lake and Wheeler Peak. From the base of Taos Ski Valley, a moderate 2-mile trail climbs through spruce and aspen forests to reach Williams Lake, a pristine alpine lake nestled at 11,000 feet. The trail is accessible summer through early fall, with stunning wildflower displays in July and golden aspens in September. But here's where the real hidden gem comes in. While most hikers turn around at the lake, a steep, unmarked trail continues from the north side of the lake up to Wheeler Peak, New Mexico's highest point at 13,161 feet. This trail isn't for everyone. It's steep, unmarked in places, and crosses talus fields where footing can be treacherous. But for experienced hikers who make the effort, the rewards are immense. From the summit, you can see 4 states on a clear day. To the west, the Rio Grande Gorge cuts through the plateau. To the east, the Sangre de Cristo Range stretches into Colorado. And all around, the vastness of New Mexico unfolds beneath you. If you attempt this hike, start early, really early. Afternoon thunderstorms are common in summer, and you don't want to be above tree line when lightning starts. Bring layers, regardless of season, as temperatures at the summit can be 30 degrees cooler than in Taos. La Ventana Natural Arch. Our final natural wonder takes us to the northwestern part of the state, near the small town of Grants. Here, hidden among the ancient lava flows of El Malpais National Monument, stands La Ventana Natural Arch, the second largest natural arch in New Mexico. What makes La Ventana special isn't just its impressive size, it's the way it frames the sky and landscape beyond. The name means the window in Spanish, and that's exactly what it is. A window into the geologic history of this remarkable region. The arch was formed when water and ice gradually widened cracks in the massive sandstone cliff face. Over thousands of years, these forces of nature sculpted this perfect frame, which now stands as a testament to time. For photographers, La Ventana is a dream location, especially in late afternoon when the lowering sun bathes the sandstone in golden light. Visit in winter, and you might catch it with a dusting of snow, creating a stunning contrast against the red rock. What I love most about La Ventana is how accessible it is compared to many natural arches. A short, easy trail leads from the parking area directly to the base of the arch, making this wonder available to almost everyone. Yet despite this accessibility, you'll often have the place entirely to yourself, especially if you visit during the week or in the off-season. Forgotten history and ghost towns. Mogollon Ghost Town. Deep in the Gila National Forest, at the end of a winding mountain road that would make even experienced drivers grip the wheel a little tighter, lies Mogollon, one of New Mexico's most authentic and remote ghost towns. Getting here is half the adventure. Highway 159 climbs nearly 2,000 feet in just a few miles, with hairpin turns and steep drop-offs. But once you arrive, you'll find yourself transported to another era. Unlike more touristy ghost towns, Mogollon still feels haunted by its past. Founded in the 1880s as a gold and silver mining camp, the town once boasted a population of 2,000 people, along with 12 saloons, 2 brothels, a hospital, and a theater. Today, many of the original buildings still stand: the old schoolhouse, the theater, the mercantile. Some are partially restored, others are slowly returning to the earth. What makes Mogollon special is the authenticity. This isn't a recreated tourist attraction, but a real place where history is still palpable. The cemetery on the hillside tells the stories of those who lived and died here, victims of mining accidents, influenza, and the hard life of a frontier mining town. Each grave marker represents a piece of New Mexico's rich history. If you visit Mogollon, timing is everything. The road is sometimes closed in winter due to snow, and even in summer, afternoon thunderstorms can make the drive treacherous. The Purple Onion Café, housed in an original building, is sometimes open for lunch, serving what might be the most remote meal in New Mexico. Call ahead to check their hours, as they change seasonally. Chaco Canyon's hidden ruins. Most visitors to Chaco Culture National Historical Park explore the main ruins along the Loop Road. Impressive structures like Pueblo Bonito and Chetroquetl. But beyond these well-known sites lie hidden treasures that few visitors ever see. 3 backcountry hiking trails lead to lesser-known ruins that offer a more intimate experience with Chaco's ancient history. The Peñasco Blanco Trail, a 7-mile round trip, takes you to a stunning pueblo perched at the west end of the canyon. What makes these backcountry ruins special is the solitude. While the main sites might have dozens of visitors, here you can sit alone among ancient walls, imagining life as it was 1,000 years ago, when Chaco was the center of ancestral pueblo and culture. Along the trails, keep your eyes open for petroglyphs and subtle astronomical markers. Chaco was an astronomical observatory as well as a cultural center, and evidence of the Chacoans' sophisticated understanding of the skies everywhere, if you know where to look. One of the most remarkable finds is the supernova pictograph, believed to record the appearance of the 1054 CE supernova that created the Crab Nebula. This celestial event was so bright it was visible during daytime for 23 days, and the Chacoans recorded it with a handprint, a crescent moon, and a star symbol. For the ultimate Chaco experience, time your hike to Peñasco Blanco to be there at sunset. The western orientation of this particular ruin creates a perfect viewing platform as the sun drops below the horizon, illuminating the ancient walls with golden light. Fort Craig and El Camino Real. Just off I-25 between Truth or Consequences and Socorro lies a forgotten piece of American history. Fort Craig, one of the largest and most important frontier forts in the American Southwest. Established in 1854 to protect travelers and settlers along El Camino Real, the royal road that connected Mexico City to Santa Fe, Fort Craig later became a crucial Union outpost during the Civil War. In February 1862, the fort's defenders fought the Confederate Texas Mounted Volunteers in the Battle of Valverde, helping to prevent the Confederate takeover of the New Mexico territory. Today, only the foundations and earthworks remain, but walking among these ruins provides a powerful connection to this turbulent period of New Mexico history. The Bureau of Land Management maintains a small visitor center with artifacts and informative displays. Just a short drive from Fort Craig lies another hidden historical treasure, a preserved section of El Camino Real de Tierra Adentro, the 1,600-mile Royal Road that served as New Mexico's lifeline to the outside world for over 300 years. At the El Camino Real Historic Trail site, you can walk in the actual ruts left by countless wagons and see the Jornada del Muerto, the Journey of the Dead Man, a 90-mile waterless stretch of desert that was the most feared section of the entire route. The small museum here houses fascinating exhibits about life on the trail, from the Spanish colonial period through Mexican independence and American territorial expansion. What makes this site special is how it connects seemingly unrelated pieces of New Mexico history into a coherent whole, showing how this ancient trade route shaped everything that came after. For the best experience, visit in the early morning or late afternoon, when the low-angle sunlight makes the trail ruts more visible. From the observation deck, you can see for miles across the same landscape that challenged travelers for centuries, and appreciate the modern convenience of being able to drive comfortably where they once struggled. Truchas and high road artisans. While thousands of visitors flock to Santa Fe's galleries and Taos's art scene each year, few venture onto the high road to Taos to discover the traditional artisan communities that preserve New Mexico's creative heart. Chief among these is the tiny village of Truchas, perched at 8,000 feet on a ridge of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. Founded in 1754 as a Spanish land grant, Truchas feels frozen in time. The ancient acequia irrigation system still waters small farms. Adobe buildings, hundreds of years old house studios and workshops, and the church, with its hand-carved altar screen, remains the center of community life. What makes Truchas special is the concentration of traditional Hispanic and contemporary artists working side by side. Here, seventh-generation woodcarvers practice techniques passed down since Spanish colonial times, while painters and sculptors drawn by the extraordinary light and landscape create contemporary works inspired by this ancient place. Unlike the polished gallery experiences of Santa Fe, here you'll often find artists working in their studios, happy to demonstrate their techniques and share stories. The handmade furniture, weavings, retablos, religious paintings on wood, and bultos, carved wooden religious figures, you'll find here represent living traditions rather than commercial reproductions. Truchas gained some fame as a filming location for the movie The Milagro Beanfield War, but it has managed to maintain its authentic character despite this brush with Hollywood. Visit on a weekday, and you might feel like you have the entire village to yourself. The views alone are worth the drive. On clear days, you can see all the way to Colorado. And if you time your visit for late September or early October, you'll witness the aspens turning gold against the deep blue New Mexican sky, a sight that has inspired artists for generations. Ojo Caliente's Kiva Pool and Mud Baths. Ojo Caliente Mineral Springs. Resort and spa is not exactly a secret. It's been a healing destination for thousands of years, first for indigenous peoples and later for Spanish settlers. But hidden within this historic spa are experiences that many visitors miss. While the main pools attract most visitors, the real hidden gem here is the private Kiva Pool, a circular, enclosed soaking pool built in the style of a traditional Native American ceremonial kiva. Accessed through a small wooden door and down a ladder, soaking here feels like stepping into another world. The Kiva Pool must be reserved in advance, and it's not advertised prominently. But for couples or small groups seeking a more intimate experience, it offers a unique connection to the spiritual traditions that have made these springs sacred for centuries. Another overlooked experience is the mud bath area, where you can coat yourself in clay from the surrounding hills, let it dry in the sun, and then wash it away in the mineral pools. The clay is rich in minerals that draw impurities from the skin, a natural detoxification practice used by indigenous peoples long before spa treatments existed. For the full experience, come on a weekday during the off-season, October through April, excluding holidays. You'll have a much more peaceful experience, and you might even get the Kiva Pool for the standard reservation fee rather than the premium charged during busy periods. And while most visitors come for day use, staying overnight in the historic hotel allows you to access the pools after hours, when the night sky above the springs comes alive with stars undiminished by light pollution. A transformative experience that connects you to the same skies that watched over ancient peoples as they sought healing in these sacred waters. Chimayo's Healing Earth. About 30 minutes north of Santa Fe lies the village of Chimayo, home to the famous Santuario de Chimayo, often called the Lourdes of America. While the Santuario itself is well known and draws thousands of pilgrims each Easter, there are aspects of this sacred place that most casual visitors miss. The small hole in the floor of a side chapel contains what believers consider to be healing earth. According to legend, in 1810, a local friar saw a light emanating from a hillside. Digging at the spot, he found a crucifix, which was taken to a nearby church. Mysteriously, the crucifix disappeared and was found back in its original location. After this happened 3 times, the faithful built the santuario around it. While many visitors take a pinch of the earth, few explore the deeper connections between this Catholic tradition and the indigenous beliefs that preceded it. Long before Christianity came to New Mexico, the Tewa people considered this area sacred and used the mineral-rich earth for healing. Even fewer visitors discover the nearby Santo Niño Chapel, dedicated to the Holy Child. The walls here are covered with tiny children's shoes, photos, and notes left by parents praying for healing for their children. It's a profoundly moving place that speaks to the very human hopes and fears that transcend specific religious traditions. Beyond the churches, the village of Chimayo itself holds treasures. Traditional weaving shops continue a craft brought from Spain in the 1600s, but developed into a distinctive local style. The Chimayo weaving pattern, with its bold geometric designs, is immediately recognizable to collectors. In shops like Ortega's and Trujillo's, multiple generations of the same family work side by side, creating textiles using methods passed down for centuries. Some of the looms they work on are themselves antiques, having been in continuous use for over 100 years. And no visit to Chimayo would be complete without sampling the local cuisine, particularly dishes made with the famous Chimayo chili. Unlike the hotter varieties grown in southern New Mexico, Chimayo chilies have a sweet, earthy flavor that has been carefully preserved through generations of seed saving by local families. At Rancho de Chimayo restaurant, housed in an old hacienda, you can taste these heirloom chilies in traditional dishes. But for a more authentic experience, look for smaller family restaurants or food stands where recipes haven't changed in centuries. Pie Town's namesake treats. Halfway between Albuquerque and the Arizona border, along a lonely stretch of Highway 60, you'll find a tiny community with perhaps the most honest name in America: Pie Town, New Mexico. With a population of just 186 people, Pie Town might seem like nothing more than a quirky name on a map. But this remote outpost has been serving some of America's best pie to weary travelers since the 1920s, when a Texas cowboy named Clyde Norman began selling dried apple pies to travelers along the highway. Today, the tradition continues at places like the Pioneer Cafe, where owner Kathy Knapp has been dubbed the Pie Lady of Pie Town for her commitment to preserving this sweet legacy. What makes these pies special isn't just the recipes, it's the elevation. At 8,000 feet above sea level, baking requires special techniques to account for the lower air pressure and faster evaporation. The signature New Mexico apple pie incorporates green chili and piñon nuts for a uniquely local twist. The cherry pies use sour cherries grown in the northern part of the state, and during late summer, you might find pies made with wild berries harvested from the nearby mountains. For the full Pie Town experience, time your visit to coincide with the annual Pie Festival held each September. The tiny town swells with visitors, and local bakers compete for bragging rights in multiple categories. But even on a random weekday, stopping here offers a slice of Americana that's increasingly rare in our homogenized world. Pie Town gained unexpected fame during the Great Depression, when Farm Security Administration photographer Russell Lee documented life in this hardscrabble community. His photos, now in the Library of Congress, show homesteaders gathered for pie socials, proving that even in the toughest times, this community found reasons to come together and celebrate. One important tip: check operating hours before making the journey. The pie shops here run on limited schedules, and nothing is more disappointing than arriving to find closed doors. The Pioneer, for instance, is typically open Thursday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. from Pi Day, March 14th through Thanksgiving. Chope's Bar and Cafe in La Mesa. In the tiny farming community of La Mesa, about 20 minutes south of Las Cruces, stands an unassuming adobe building that houses one of New Mexico's greatest culinary treasures, Chope's Bar and Cafe. From the outside, you might drive right past without a second glance. There's no flashy signage, no tourist buses in the parking lot, just a simple building that's been serving the local community since 1915, when Longina Benavides began selling takeout meals from her home kitchen. What makes Chope's special is its absolute authenticity. This isn't Mexican food adapted for tourist palates. This is border cuisine, as prepared in family homes throughout the region, using recipes passed down through generations. The restaurant is still run by the same family, now in its fourth generation of ownership. The signature dish here is the chile relleno, whole green chilies from nearby Hatch, carefully roasted, peeled, stuffed with cheese, dipped in a light egg batter, and fried to perfection. While chili rellenos appear on menus throughout New Mexico, the version at Chope's sets the standard by which all others should be judged. Unlike many restaurants that prepare chili rellenos in advance and reheat them, at Chope's they're made to order, which means a wait, but the result is worth every minute. The contrast between the crisp exterior, the meaty chile, and the molten cheese interior creates a perfect bite that hasn't changed in over a century. The restaurant and bar operate as separate entities under the same roof, a legacy of New Mexico's liquor laws. The bar side, with its pool table and jukebox, is where locals gather to catch up on community news. It's the kind of place where farmers still come in after a day in the fields, where conversations flow easily between English and Spanish, and where newcomers are welcomed without pretense. If you visit Chope's, come hungry and be prepared to wait, both for a table and for your food. Everything is made from scratch, and the small kitchen can get overwhelmed during busy times. And don't expect fancy presentation. The focus here is entirely on flavor, rather than Instagram-worthy plating. Buckhorn, Tavern's Green Chili Burger. The tiny village of San Antonio, New Mexico, population 165, seems an unlikely place for a culinary pilgrimage. But burger enthusiasts from around the world make their way here to experience what might be the best green chili cheeseburger on the planet at the Buckhorn Tavern. The Buckhorn doesn't look like much from the outside, a simple building with a weathered wooden exterior that's been standing since 1918. Step inside and you'll find a no-frills interior, decorated with hunting trophies, license plates, and memorabilia accumulated over a century of operation. What makes the Buckhorn's green chili cheeseburger legendary isn't fancy ingredients or innovative techniques. It's the perfect execution of a New Mexico classic. Hand-formed patties of fresh ground beef are cooked on a well-seasoned flat-top grill, topped with green chiles roasted on site, and served on a simple bun with lettuce, tomato, onion, and pickle. The chili is the star here, hot enough to make you notice, but not so overpowering that it masks the flavor of the beef. Unlike many restaurants that use pre-processed chilies, the Buckhorn roasts Hatch green chilies during the late summer harvest and freezes them to use throughout the year, ensuring that every burger gets the authentic flavor. The Buckhorn gained national fame in 2009 when owner Bobby Olgan defeated celebrity chef Bobby Flay in a green chili cheeseburger throwdown. But unlike many restaurants that let fame change them, the Buckhorn has remained steadfastly committed to the same simple formula that made it legendary. Fair warning, the Buckhorn operates on its own schedule, and it's not uncommon to find it unexpectedly closed. Call ahead to confirm they're open before making the drive. And don't plan on using a credit card. It's cash only, a policy that hasn't changed despite the restaurant's fame. What I love most about the Buckhorn is how it brings together people from all walks of life. On any given day, you'll find local ranchers sitting next to tourists from Japan, all united in appreciation of this perfect expression of New Mexican cuisine. Gila's Turkey Creek Hot Springs. Deep in the Gila Wilderness, America's first designated wilderness area, lies one of New Mexico's most rewarding hidden gems for adventurous travelers, Turkey Creek Hot Springs. Unlike the more accessible hot springs we discussed earlier, Turkey Creek requires real commitment to reach. The journey begins at the poorly marked Turkey Creek trailhead, accessible via a rough dirt road that requires high clearance and, in wet conditions, four-wheel drive. From there, a 9-mile round-trip hike takes you through a stunning canyon. You'll cross the creek numerous times, up to 20 crossings each way, depending on the exact route you take. During rainy periods or spring snowmelt, these crossings can be challenging, so check conditions before setting out. The reward for this effort is a series of natural hot spring pools nestled alongside Turkey Creek. Unlike developed springs, these pools are in their natural state, rock-lined depressions where hot water bubbles up to mix with the cool creek water. By adjusting the rocks, you can control the temperature to your liking. What makes this experience special is the profound isolation. Few people make the journey, especially during weekdays, so there's a good chance you'll have these springs entirely to yourself, a luxury almost unheard of in our increasingly crowded outdoor spaces. The surrounding wilderness is home to black bears, mountain lions, and reintroduced Mexican gray wolves, adding an element of wild adventure seldom found in more accessible locations. While encounters are rare, the knowledge that these predators share the landscape connects you to a wilder New Mexico that has largely disappeared elsewhere. If you plan to visit Turkey Creek Hot Springs, consider making it an overnight trip. Primitive camping is allowed throughout the Gila Wilderness, and spending the night allows you to soak beneath some of the darkest skies in America, where the Milky Way stretches from horizon to horizon. Bisti Dinazin Wilderness. In the far northwestern corner of New Mexico, about 40 miles south of Farmington, lies a landscape so otherworldly that it feels like walking on another planet. The Bisti Dinazin Wilderness. The name Bisti comes from the Navajo language, meaning among the adobe formations. And that's exactly what you'll find here. 65 million years of geological history exposed in fantastical formations of weathered shale, sandstone, and coal. Unlike most natural wonders, there are no designated trails here. Navigation is by landmark and GPS, adding to the sense of exploration and discovery. As you wander among the hoodoos, spires, and balanced rocks, each turn reveals new formations that stretch the imagination. Formations with names like Cracked Eggs, Stone Wings, and the Valley of Dreams. What makes Bisti truly special is how it changes throughout the day. Morning light creates long shadows that emphasize the otherworldly shapes. Midday sun reveals the subtle colors in the rock layers. And sunset bathes everything in a golden glow that photographers travel thousands of miles to capture. Perhaps the most famous formation is the Bisti Wing, a massive piece of sandstone balanced atop a pedestal of mudstone, creating what looks like a stone bird about to take flight. But the real joy of Bisti is discovering your own favorite formations, ones that might not have names or appear in guidebooks. If you plan to visit Bisti, bring plenty of water. There are no services of any kind in the wilderness area. A GPS device is highly recommended, as it's surprisingly easy to get disoriented among the similar-looking formations. And check the weather forecast carefully. Flash floods can occur during monsoon season, and the clay soil becomes treacherously slippery when wet. Sitting Bull Falls. Hidden in a canyon in the Guadalupe Mountains of southeastern New Mexico, about 42 miles west of Carlsbad, you'll find an unexpected oasis, Sitting Bull Falls Recreation Area. In a region known primarily for Carlsbad caverns and its desert landscape, the 150-foot waterfall that cascades down limestone cliffs into clear pools below comes as a surprising discovery. What makes this place special is the contrast. The lush, riparian area around the falls set against the arid surroundings. The falls are fed by springs that emerge from the limestone aquifer, creating a year-round flow even during the driest periods. This constant water source supports cottonwood trees, maidenhair ferns, and other water-loving plants that would otherwise be impossible in this environment. A series of pools at the base of the falls provide natural swimming holes that offer welcome relief from the New Mexico heat. The largest pool, directly beneath the falls, reaches depths of over 6 feet, perfect for a refreshing plunge after hiking the surrounding trails. While the falls themselves are the main attraction, take time to explore the network of springs that feed them. A short trail leads to the top of the falls, where you can see the series of pools that eventually cascade over the cliff edge. And for the adventurous, backcountry trails lead deeper into the canyon system, revealing smaller falls and pools that few visitors ever see. What I appreciate most about Sitting Bull Falls is its accessibility. Unlike many of New Mexico's hidden gems that require challenging journeys, this one can be enjoyed by almost everyone. A paved path leads from the parking area to viewing platforms, and the swimming area is just a short walk beyond. Cave Creek Canyon with the Chiricahua Sky Islands. At the very southwestern edge of New Mexico, straddling the Arizona border, lies a landscape unlike any other in the state. Cave Creek Canyon and the Chiricahua Sky Islands. Sky Islands are isolated mountains that rise dramatically from the surrounding desert, creating ecological islands where plants and animals typically found hundreds of miles north can thrive in these high-elevation havens. The Chiricahuas are perhaps the most dramatic of these formations, with Cave Creek Canyon cutting through their heart. What makes this area extraordinary is the biological diversity. The canyon floors harbor desert species, while the upper elevations support pine oak woodlands more typical of the Colorado Plateau. This concentration of diverse habitats makes the region a paradise for birdwatchers. Over 375 species have been recorded here, including rarities like the elegant trogon that are otherwise found only in Mexico. The area's human history is equally compelling. The Chiricahua Apache, led by Cochise and later Geronimo, used these mountains as their stronghold during conflicts with encroaching settlers. The rugged terrain provided natural fortifications that helped them resist capture for decades. While the Arizona side of the Chiricahuas gets more attention, the New Mexico portion offers solitude and discoveries without the crowds. Portal, a tiny community at the mouth of Cave Creek Canyon, serves as the gateway to this hidden realm. The Portal Peak Lodge provides simple accommodations and hearty meals for travelers willing to make the journey. For the best experience, time your visit for April through June, when spring migrations bring an explosion of bird life, or September through October, when fall colors paint the canyon walls with vibrant hues. Whenever you come, bring binoculars. Even if you're not a dedicated birder, the chance to spot a rare species adds excitement to every hike. Stargazing and night sky destinations. Cosmic Campground International Dark Sky Sanctuary. In the remote Gila National Forest, about 8 miles north of the tiny community of Alma, lies a place dedicated to something increasingly rare in our modern world: true darkness. The Cosmic Campground International Dark Sky Sanctuary is one of only a handful of certified dark sky sanctuaries in the world. What makes this place extraordinary is the near total absence of light pollution. On a clear night, the Milky Way doesn't just appear as a faint smudge. It dominates the sky with such brightness and detail that it casts shadows. The nearest significant artificial light source is more than 40 miles away, creating conditions that most Americans have never experienced. The cosmic campground was specifically designed for stargazing, with concrete pads for telescopes and red light-only policies that protect night vision. But even without equipment, the naked eye viewing is spectacular. On good nights, you can see features like the Andromeda Galaxy, the Great Rift in the Milky Way, and even satellites passing overhead. What I find most profound about this place is how it reconnects us to something our ancestors took for granted: a night sky filled with stars. Indigenous peoples, Spanish explorers, and early settlers all navigated by these same stars, told stories about the constellations, and planned their calendars around celestial events. Standing beneath this ancient sky creates a powerful link to those who came before. If you plan to visit, time your trip around the new moon for the darkest skies and check the weather forecast carefully. Clouds will obviously limit what you can see. Bring warm clothing regardless of season, as temperatures drop dramatically after sunset at this 6,000-foot elevation. And consider bringing a red flashlight to preserve your night vision as you move around the campground. Valley of Fires, Dark Sky Viewpoint. Just outside Carrizozo, in central New Mexico, lies the Valley of Fires Recreation Area, home to one of the youngest lava flows in the continental United States. While impressive during the day, this landscape transforms into something truly magical after dark. The black basalt of the lava flow absorbs light, creating an exceptionally dark environment for stargazing. The Bureau of Land Management has recognized this quality by establishing a dedicated dark sky viewing area with informational panels about the night sky and minimal lighting that doesn't interfere with observations. What makes this location special is the combination of accessibility and darkness. Unlike many prime stargazing locations that require long drives onto rough roads, Valley of Fires is just a mile off Highway 380 on a paved road. Yet the quality of the night sky rivals much more remote locations. The stark landscape of the lava flow creates dramatic silhouettes against the star-filled sky. Twisted junipers that have managed to take root in the basalt stand, like sculptures against the cosmos. Photographers find endless compositions here, playing with the contrast between the black lava and the brilliant stars. For the best experience, arrive before sunset to get familiar with the landscape in daylight. As darkness falls, the transition is remarkable, from a somewhat forbidding black rock field to a perfect observation platform for the universe above. If you can, reserve one of the campsites within the recreation area to enjoy the stars until dawn, when the first light reveals the lava field anew.